Hello and happy Sunday, everybody. This is Kelly with IfYouHaveAnEgg.com, and today is Sunday, July the 11th. I hope everybody had a safe and happy July 4th, and if you were in Canada, a safe and happy Canada Day, even though we missed it. It was the week before that. But yeah, today is July the 11th, and this is called very hot outside, and I'm still wet from walking with Karen, but I've got the temperature turned down so low at KC Kitchen Center that I had to put on a sweater. Okay, let's see if I can get caught up with you all here. Here we go. Let me get this turned down a little bit. Hello, everybody. I hope you all are talking to me. Yep, I see a couple of you all sneaking in here. Hello, Carol Lou. It's so good to see you. I got to Zoom today. We'll talk about that in just a second. Very exciting news about the Zoom. But again, we'll talk about that here in just a second. Hello, John from Home Base. And I already said hello to Carol Lou. We've got Deanna sneaking in here, and we've got Joni sneaking in here. So yeah, it's going to be a fun evening. I hope everybody is back from their vacations, or that you're headed that way and you're going somewhere fun. Hello, Sandra from Demon's Ferry. Hello, Elaine. We saw a lot of people swapping. We took John's mom to Gatlinburg today. We went up to look at some vintage campers, and we took John's mom up there because we didn't let her out of the car because it was, it was pretty hot today. But we went up there and it was beautiful, and there were a lot of people coming and going from the Gatlinburg area. Hello, Lisa. Hello, Deborah. Sorry, I got a little excited and skipped some of you all. Hello, Betty Ann. Hello, Lynn. Kathy is here. Hello, Melissa, or we're just going to call you Mel, because that's what I've always called you over on Instagram. Yep, and Joni is in California. Good to see you. Hello, Connie. Kathy from Ohio is here, and Kathy, I saw you earlier today. Hello, Mary Ann from Pennsylvania. So it's good of you all to drop in and talk to us. Yeah, and there is Linda from Rock Island, Illinois. So Linda, we shared your chairs today. Yes, everybody got to look at your chairs today. So hello to Linda. Hello, Loretta. Hello, Cynthia. And if you are brand new, if you've never been with us before, please let us know that you are brand new. Just say, hey, I'm new. Hello, Cynthia. Just let us know that you're new, because we would love to welcome you. We love welcoming new people. And if you are watching this later on YouTube, it's just youtube.com. Search If You Have an Egg. You can always go back and watch these on demand. Hello, Sandy from Naperville. It's been a long time since I've seen you. Oh, you just got home from her son's. Oh, they took her to a late lunch. That is awesome. But yeah, you can watch us over on YouTube also. And hello, Roberta from Missouri. It's good to see you. So that's a great place to go back and watch later. If you're driving, you can just listen to it. If you're working out, because I know a lot of places are opening up and you can go back and start working out again. So you could do that with your headphones in, because nobody else needs to listen to it. Hello, Sandy from northeastern Kansas. And it's funny because it typed out Noofska. Yeah, that's so funny. Hello, Rosie. Yeah, yay, Rosie. I'm so glad that you are here. And Rosie is hoping that her internet behaves tonight, because it has been buffering for her. So if anybody else has trouble, we're also, so this is streaming live on Facebook right now. And hello, Sherry from Perrysburg. But this is streaming live right now on Facebook. Y'all are with me live on Facebook. But if for some reason, if your internet's messing up, if power goes out, I hope not. Yeah, if something weird like that happens, you can always watch it later again on YouTube, because we're live right now, but we are also taping this because we have our cool Mevo camera. Oh, and Erlene, we have a newbie from Windsor, Maine. What part of Maine is Windsor? And everybody, welcome Erlene. Erlene, it's E-A-R-L-E-N-E, so everybody welcome Erlene. And I want to know what part of Maine you're from. We actually have one of John's guys is in Maine right now, and Maine is it's our second favorite vacation spot. Disney's first, but Maine is second. But anyway, yeah, so everybody can watch later if you just can't get to us. So Carol Lou is back from vacation today. Yeah, and she had a birthday, so happy birthday to Carol Lou. Yep, great. Y'all are welcoming our new person. So everybody, if you're new, let us know, because we do like to welcome you. Hello, Vicki from St. Louis. So Knoxville girls, I've got some good news here in just a second. And aloha, Kathy, it is good to see you. I have some good news for you here in a second, but as of right now, Gwen's Sunday at 2:30 is still going. Hello, Alicia. Hello, Marlene from Florida. So Gwen's 2:30 on Sundays is still going. So you all can still attend that. Augusta. Erlene, I'm not really sure where Augusta is. Y'all don't have to tell me when I get home. And let's see, and Melissa Mel says, it's been odd here, getting used to hearing the nightly Disneyland fireworks again. I know, it's so exciting. Yeah, it's so awesome. And hello, Dixie. Hello, Linda. Okay, awesome, everybody. Okay, so the 2:30 with Gwen is still going. And hello, Sherry. That has not stopped. So if you've been coming to Zoom with us at 2:30 on Sundays in the Knoxville group. And if you are on Connect, if you're on WW and on Connect, then you can just go to, when you go to Connect, go to the groups. And if you search for Knoxville, there is a West Knoxville group. If you have the right kind of WW membership, then you can join us on Sundays. You can join any of those, but you can join us on Sundays at 2:30. And Gwen says that there are no holidays in between now and the end of the year. So we missed Mother's Day, Father's Day, July 4th, and then I missed one in there. So I missed you all like, I don't know, there were like 3 weeks that I missed, but today I was there. And so today, for that one, I saw Gwen, Sandy with an I, Kathy, Myrna, Arlene, Christine, Jackie, Karen, Kathy, Kristen, Lynn, Tina, Roberta, Orlando Debbie, and it was so cute. She changed it to say Orlando Debbie. And hello, Rita. Kim, Janet, and Rhonda snuck in there a little bit late, but she was there today. So everybody who was at the 2:30, it was so good to see you all again. I really did miss you all, and I didn't realize that 3 weeks without a Zoom meeting, was going to be, so weird. But I do have some news for July. So this is not just for the Knoxville girls, but it's especially for the Knoxville girls. So some July things. The theme for this month is things to make you happy. So it's, it's just things to make you happy. Remember that you're happy, ways to remember that you're happy. This makes me so happy. So happy. So apparently I had this news last week and didn't realize it because the email that told me that I had this news last week had gone into my spam folder. That's cleared up now. So that's all good to go now. But if you are in Knoxville, guess what? Tuesdays with Gwen are back. They are back. So she had already opened, WW had already opened up her Tuesday mornings, but guess where my bottom will be? Not this coming Tuesday, but the following Tuesday on July the 20th, my bottom will be in whatever color chairs we had, because I don't even remember. I think there were cream, off-white or something chairs. But my bottom will be in a chair on Tuesday, July the 20th. If you are in Knoxville, you can come to the Tuesday, July the 20th WW meeting at Beaver Creek Cumberland Presbyterian Church. The longest name ever. It's actually in Powell, so it's just north of Knoxville. I mean, it's pretty much Knoxville. It's like a suburb of Knoxville. But the weigh-in is going to be from 5:30 until 6, and then the meeting will be from 6 until 6:30. Yeah, thank you, Kathy. So that'll be the meeting. That'll be the weigh-in and the meeting time. What they did, if you are in Knoxville and you're a little bit confused, if you thought, wait, I love these are from Arkansas. If you thought, wait, my meeting time was a little bit earlier or my meeting time was a little bit later, in order to be able to open up Tuesday nights, what they did is they combined the afternoon. Hello, Orlando Debbie. They combined, and thank you, Marlene. They combined the afternoon and the evening workshops. So instead of having an afternoon workshop on Tuesdays and an evening workshop on Tuesdays, they have, and yes, Rita, we would love to have you at next Sunday Zoom. But they have decided to open up they're going to combine them, and they're going to have, again, starting Tuesday, hello Susie, starting Tuesday, July the 20th, Knoxville girls, if you live anywhere near Powell, if you know where Powell is, if you want to visit Powell, whatever, it's at Beaver Creek Cumberland Presbyterian Church in Powell, Tennessee, and it will be Tuesday nights. Again, weigh-in is from 5:30 until 6, and the workshop is from 6 until 6:30, and my bottom will be in a chair. Karen and I could not be more excited. That's all we talked about while we walked today. Okay, so that is so awesome. If you need the rest of the list, so they still have the Tuesday mornings for Gwen there in Powell. There are meetings in Fountain City. There are meetings let me just run down the list real quick. I'm not going to go into all the details or we'll run out of time. There are meetings in High School, Maryville, Oak Ridge, Sevierville, Pigeon Forge, Lenoir City, of course, Cedar Bluff. That's the West Knoxville location. There are meetings in Powell, and hello, Mary. That is so awesome. And then more in Maryville. So you can always go to Connect and check those out. I will say this, Knoxville girls, we had a moment of panic today because the WW website and Connect both had, Powell was just gone. It was gone like it didn't exist. Never fear. Gwen is contacting them today. I know today's Sunday, but she is contacting them today to let them know that it had fallen off of the website. Hello, Mindy. To let them know that it had fallen off of the website. So it will be added back on there. And this whole list in its entirety, if you are in East Tennessee, that whole list will be complete and on there hopefully in the next day or two. Okay, so that was my awesome news, for today. that we will get to start those in-person workshops again in Powell, and I literally could not be more excited. But today is Sunday, July the 11th. I am Kelly with IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. We are back at KC Kitchen Center today. The weather is okay. It was supposed to be storming today, so I was a little nervous about whether or not we would be able to keep the internet, but it's looking pretty good. Yeah, so I'm thinking that the internet's going to stay with us this whole time. But last week was chat number 230, and I want to know, because I'll be able to join you all. I'll be able to join you all here in 2 weeks, or not even 2 weeks, a week from Tuesday. Who sat their bottom? Who sat their little bottom in a chair? Give me a thumbs up. So if you are new, because you're here with us live, you can actually push. There's a little button down here at either the bottom of your phone or the bottom of your tablet. If you're on a computer, somebody's gonna have to tell you where it is because I don't know, because I never join these on a computer. But give me a thumbs up if you attended an in-person workshop last week, or if you went to a Zoom workshop last week. So give me thumbs ups for those. And if you were here with us live last week, or if you watched it, yep, and Linda's bottom was in a green chair again, and we had a picture of that green chair earlier today. Or if you were here with us live last week, or you watched it on demand, let's see some hearts. So I'm seeing lots and lots of thumbs ups and hearts. And because Karen and I walked in the super hot weather, I'll be drinking the entire time probably. Awesome. So many of y'all did. Rita did. Lynn did. Marianne did. Yeah, of course, we already knew that Linda did. That is awesome. So for everybody who did either an in-person workshop, a virtual workshop, attended here with us live last week, or watched it on demand, here are your Bravo stickers. If you're new, I give out virtual Bravo stickers. They used to give us little teeny tiny Bravo stickers that I didn't really think much about until they were gone. So yeah, I never really thought much about them until they were gone, and now I want them back again. So anyway, there are your virtual Bravo stickers. You can always go to IfYouHaveAnEgg.com and print off real Bravo stickers. And if you do your homework every week, you get a Bravo badge. Ooh, it's Roberta's second week in a workshop. That is awesome. Okay, so you can also earn Bravo badges. We'll talk about those here in just a few minutes. Okay, so last week, chat number 230, we were talking about feeling in control even when you're not. So even when things around you are out of control, or you don't have control over a situation, or you've been put into a situation that you don't have any control of, we were talking about how to feel like you're in control of that situation, or how to take some control, of that situation. So we talked a lot about Olaf last week. We don't have time to talk too much about him this week, but we talked about channeling our inner snowman. If you have not seen Frozen 2, I highly recommend it just to hear Olaf's quotes. I don't know what else to call them, but just to hear Olaf, it's hilarious. I mean, and they're very relevant. So it's worth it just to hear, those. So last week we were talking about being out of control. We were visiting feelings of, you arrive somewhere, or people show up for you, or you're at work and you have a customer show up for 3 hours, things like that. A 1 hour appointment turns into 3 hours. Not that that ever happens this yesterday. But when things are out of control, how to feel in control, when everything else around you feels like it's out of control. So, because then what it feels like is that because I don't know if you're like me, but what it feels like to me is, great, nobody cared that I'm trying to lose weight. Great, nobody cared that I'm trying to get my blood pressure under control. Nobody cared that, whatever, now X, Y, and Z has happened. And so, I'm just going to get mad and flip my wagon over and set it on fire and just, do whatever, just throw caution to the wind. But we talked about what can we do. So there were a couple of things that we could do to feel like we were more in control, even when things around us really were not. So one of those things was to recognize when we can't control it. We just don't have control over it. And so part of that is taking a deep breath. So just stopping. Don't go ahead and panic. Just stop and go. Take a deep breath and take 2 seconds and identify whatever it is. So yesterday, remember, this is just pretend. This is not a true story. Whatever. I got to identify the fact that the lunch that I had planned was out the window because this 1 hour appointment quickly turned into a 3 hour appointment. You can't control that. I couldn't control that unless I took them by the hand, led them to the door, and escorted them out. So I couldn't control that, but I had to recognize, okay, there's nothing I can do about that. There's literally nothing I can do. So just take a deep breath and just remain calm. Then refocus, and kind of quickly look around. Okay, what is something about this situation that I can control? What's something that I can control out of this? And then redirect it. Find a way that you can either influence it, influence the situation where you do have a little bit more control, or you can influence something about it, some part of it. So your homework for last week's chat was channel your snowman. So people who did not listen to last week's chat, I'm sure are still going, what is she talking about? It's July. We're not channeling there's no snowman right now. So channeling your snowman, you were to think of a recent time when you felt out of control and decide what you could have done to recognize, refocus, and redirect the situation. If you write it down, you're twice as likely. I'm sure that's not a real statistic. I'm sure it's probably more than that. But as far as I'm concerned, if you write it down, you are more than twice as likely to actually do it. And if you type it, if you posted it on Facebook, if you sent it to me on YouTube, if you sent me a message on Instagram, or when you send me messages on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com, that I consider that typing. So the fact that you have a witness because you confessed that this is what happened, this is what I did, this is what what the result was, then you're twice as likely to do things, to complete things when you write them down. So this is how you did with your homework. Marianne says that the one thing that she can't control is the fact that she lives alone. So she lives alone. So rather than kick the dirt, I love it when Gwen goes, everybody else gets to do whatever. So rather than kick the dirt and say, everybody else gets to enjoy new recipes but me, because if I made it, I'd have, 20 servings and nobody to feed it to. So instead, Marianne has learned how to adjust those recipes so that she has just a few servings of them and she can enjoy it as often as she wants, but she doesn't end up with a bunch of leftovers that she's going to get tired of. And if with your WW recipe builder, if you go in there, you can actually adjust the ingredients to make it, you can adjust it in the recipe builder on your WW app, so that you can make just as many servings as you want, and it'll go ahead and automatically calculate the points for you. So that is a bonus of the recipe builder. If you don't know how to do that, we do have a chat for that, and it talks about using your app. So if you go back and find that chat, and I'm sorry, I don't remember which number it is, I'll try to look for it, but if you find that one, you can go back and figure out how to adjust that in the recipe builder. Okay, Lynn, this is such a sad story, but she made the best out of it. Lynn received her first order from a mail order. I'm just going to call it Ugly Veggie because there's several of them out there. But she received her first order from a mail order Ugly Veggie company, and wow, what a disappointment it was. So I don't know what happened. It's not one that I've ever used or could even recommend. I'm really not sure what happened. Lynn's guess is that maybe because it was already ugly produce, riding around in the Texas heat, riding around in a freight truck in the Texas heat just was probably not the best thing for it. But when she opened her box, they weren't just irregular. So this is one of those companies where it's supposed to be, like a carrot with an extra leg or something, or, bumpy tomatoes, or, it's just supposed to be ugly fruit. But instead of it just being ugly, a little bit of it was unusable. And a lot of it had bruises or, some other things going on. So rather than just go, fine, I'm trying to get vegetables. So I've ordered this thing, trying to get vegetables and save some money and, whatever the plan was for that. And just saying, forget it, and throwing it out and opening, pulling out a frozen box of Girl Scout cookies from the freezer and eating that instead. Instead of doing that, Lynn made the best of it. Hello, Trish. It's good to see you. And Trish, how is your friend doing? Because I have not seen you in a couple of weeks. But instead of doing that, Lynn just did what she could. So the things that were completely unusable, she went ahead and tossed them. There was nothing she could do with them. But the other thing, she cut the bruises off. She cut the, the little bad parts off. She took some avocado and made it into guacamole to be used for a few meals. But so she took control of the situation by using what she could, getting rid of what she couldn't, and then she went ahead and canceled that subscription. So it's going to be hot in Texas for many, many more weeks. So there was a high likelihood that this was going to happen again next week. So instead of just letting it happen again next week and going, whatever, where are the extra Girl Scout cookies in the freezer? Lynn went ahead and took charge of it, and she took control of that situation. I think she did an excellent job. And then Carol Lou, we already talked about the fact that Carol Lou has been on vacation, and it was her birthday last week. But one of those days on her birthday, instead of just throwing, again, caution to the wind and just saying, it's my birthday, I'm on vacation, there's nothing I can do about this, Instead, she is working on her beach body, and she was at the beach, but she's working on her beach body, and so she enjoyed a lovely, and it looked delicious, grilled chicken salad that she made in her hotel room, okay? You're killing it, girl. You're doing a great job, and happy birthday. So for everyone who did their homework last week, bravo. Y'all did a great job. So here are your extra bravo stickers. And again, new people, when you do your homework, if I choose you, so I usually choose 3 of you every Sunday night to brag on, and you get extra virtual bravo stickers, but you also get a super cool badge that my daughter Casey makes for us each week. And this week it was an adorable snowman. The week before that they're always super cute, but you get a badge, and so I'll go ahead and issue it to you on Facebook when you do your homework there. Okay, so that was your homework for last week. This week is chat number 231, and it is make time for things that make you happy. Okay, I love this week's graphics. Okay, if you have not gotten on your phone, your tablet, okay, this was last week because we're always a week behind. So if you have not gotten on your phone, your tablet, the computer, whatever, and looked at the graphics, you need to go look at them right now. If you didn't see them, go look now. Okay, not right now because I want you to finish the chat. But you know how much, y'all know, if you've been here any length of time, you know how much I love stickers, Post-it notes, note cards, little scraps of paper. I cut up, these are like, phone messages that weren't used, so I cut them up. I have little pieces and bits and baubles of paper everywhere. I upcycle everything like that. So you know how much I love that. The graphics that they did this week were for me. They had to be for me. So now that I've alerted all of you all to go back and pay special attention to those graphics, because I'm having a love affair with them. The graphics are showing little fake pieces of paper being held up by little fake pieces of tape onto a fake calendar of some kind. So it's all fake, but raise your hand. I want you to raise your hand if you have a mental list or even a written list of activities that you enjoy doing and you're having trouble fitting them in. So this will make sense in a second. So if you have like a mental list going of, I really enjoy doing blah, 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 whatever it is. So if it's, getting my nails done, or if it's taking a hike, or, just an activity that you enjoy doing, but you're having trouble fitting it in, go ahead and raise your hand. And I'll tell you why those little bits and baubles of paper come in handy in a second. Betty Ann, Lynn. Yeah, I think Betty Ann and Lynn are on the same page with me every week. We must be like kindred spirits or the same mind or something, because I swear I think we're on the same track every single week. Okay, so sure, we all do. Debbie's raising her hand too. Every single one of you should be raising your hand. So unless you are at home with absolutely nothing to do, even retired people are some of the busiest people I've ever met. Those are the hardest customers to schedule their countertop install because they're never home. They're running grandkids places, they've got things to do, they've got doctor's appointments, whatever. Retired people are the hardest people to schedule with. So we all do. So a prime example for me is the WW in-person workshop on Tuesday at Beaver Creek Cumberland Presbyterian Church with Gwen Roddy on Tuesday nights coming July the 20th in Powell. So I had guarded my Tuesday nights for over 2 decades. So we have 20 plus years where no one made plans for me on a Tuesday night. Nobody asked me to work over at work because they knew I wasn't going to. Nobody thought that I was going to be home for dinner, available for dinner, whatever, unless it was after the meeting. So, for 20 years, for over 2 centuries, my Tuesday night was guarded, but then stupid COVID messed it all up and took away my Tuesdays. So there was no longer a workshop to go to. So all of a sudden, then for the next 18 months, it got filled in. Tuesdays got filled in with other things because I suddenly did not have that planned on my schedule every Tuesday. So it stopped being my me time every week and the day that the workshop closed, due to COVID. So now, though, that our redefined workshop is coming on July 20th, in case I didn't mention that, but now that is coming, what am I going to do to recapture that time? What do you do to recapture that time? Hello, Roberta. What do you do to recapture? What do you do to make time for this, for the happy things? So first, you're going to have to make a list. So again, I prefer Post-it notes. I prefer, anything that I can stick up. So Post-it notes, these little notes, I have these all over my monitor. little, just little things that you need to remember to do. They're not big things, they're just little things. So, one of these that just says, like for me, it's going to say, WW meeting Tuesday night at 5:30. Or it could be getting nails done or whatever. So, make some kind of post-it note, make some kind of, list of those activities, like, volunteering at your local food pantry, whatever it is, whatever the activity is that makes you happy. And then go ahead and check your calendar. So trust me, tomorrow, because I found this out today, tomorrow I'll be checking my physical calendar, and I'm going to look at my schedule, and I'm going to see where, you're going to see where you could realistically fit this time in, what realistic time you have. So I'm going to go ahead and block off all Tuesday evenings, because I can have, hello Myrna, so I can have, I realistically can take back my Tuesday nights. So look and see what time is realistic. So if Tuesday's already booked, I wouldn't be able to put my meeting on there. If you freed up Saturday mornings, maybe you can get your toes done. So just look at your calendar and see what, and see what time is already available, and then kind of match them up. And this is where that graphic is going to be so important. And I wish I could pull it up and show you, but I need to be able to see who's talking. So that's where that graphic is going to be so important. So take your little bits of paper that you've just written down your activities on, look at your calendar if it's a physical calendar, and actually tape them on there. Actually tape that activity on there. So I will be doing that for Tuesdays. I'm going to go ahead and block off all these Tuesdays. And that way too, the reason I like post-it notes or little notes like this is if it's something that is not already scheduled for a certain day or time, like the meeting, the workshop, I can't change the time of the workshop. So that's not one that I'll be able to move around, but I like them on post-it notes or on little notes that you can move them around, so that if I need to say, okay, that's not going to work out on that day, but look, I could swap it with this one, and we could make both of these, still make both of these things happen. So go ahead and do that. If you're on your phone, if you're going to be doing it on your phone, go ahead and put it down, and then share that calendar. If you've got Google Calendars or something like that, go ahead and share it with somebody else so that they know. Remember, if you write this down, if you make it real, you're more than twice as likely to actually go through with it. But go ahead and share it with somebody so that they know, oh, look, she's blocked off her calendar for, X, Y, and Z on that day. Okay, so your homework for this week is, hello, Tag. So and Tag, it's already homework time. I'm just, you're fine. You're fine. You're not that late. So you can always go back and watch this later on YouTube. So Tag gets the YouTube speech, and that is, she can always go back and watch it later on youtube.com. Search If You Have an Egg, because Casey will be posting that tomorrow. But your homework this week is make happy time. So it is hashtag make happy time, MakeHappyTime. And I want you to write down just one activity. So don't try to do 15. Okay, do yourself a favor, pick one activity this week. So for me, for this next week, it's going to be the one activity that I'm going to choose is attending that workshop. So pick one activity that you want to fit in, check your calendar, find a spot that is, Debbie says it's called Agile Project Management. There you go. Just not fun with post-it notes, and cool pens. But anyway, find one and then mark it on your calendar in pen, not in pencil. I want you to mark it in pen, because this one thing, remember I said you can switch, thank you, Alicia. You can switch, some of these around, but this one thing, and thank you, Alicia. I'm sorry, thank you, Alicia. And yes, Mel, that sounds like me too. And thank you, Lynn. This one thing, I want you to write it in, oh, Debbie, so it's actually got a name. Cool. But I want you to write it in pen so that you can't change this. Or if you're going to be doing it on your, like on a computer generated calendar, I want you to send it to somebody so that it's in pen, that this is not going to be changed. And then I want you to digitally share it, with friends or family, or, us, or, something else. But go ahead and share it with us. So you can tag me on Instagram, Facebook, here, Connect. There's lots of places to tag me. Hello, Barbara. It's good to see you. Lots of places to tag me that you can, go ahead and do that. However you want to share it so that you can get your next cool badge. So new people, you're like 50 badges behind. So you're going to want to go back and watch all of the old, and Carolyn says it's called a Canson board. That is, okay, I'll have to look that up. But I'll look that up in my free time. I'll write a note that I'm going to look up Canson boards as an activity, to be in my happy place. Oh, Kanban. Okay, Kanban. Okay, anyway, so do that. Tag me. Get your homework done. You're going to want these super cool badges. They are so cute. And yes, Andrew, it is time to drink my water. Whew. and to quit talking so fast. So, again, new people at the 30-minute mark. So this is an hour-long chat. And if you were watching this on YouTube, if you've chosen to watch the main one, it is an hour long. So I hope you already went to the bathroom, okay? And if you didn't, if you just chose to watch the second half, you will know that it's the second half because I'm going to put my apron on. But we have, oh no, Candy's new. Everybody welcome Candy. And she's already 50 badges behind. So Candy, you're like 50 behind. I don't think we've done 50 yet. But we are on chat number 231 though. So Candy, guess what? I'm going to call you out. So Candy, you have 230 chats to go back and watch on YouTube. 230. I'm just kidding. Okay, so everybody welcome Candy. It is so nice to have you here. But Candy, just for you, and who was it? Imogene? I'm trying to think. Was that our other new person? Just for you, I'm going to explain what we're getting ready to do. So the first half is always classroom. So it's whatever we've been talking about in the workshop the week before. And then the second half is usually something fun. The second half this week, not so fun, okay? So we're going to have to get some serious talk here. We're going to have to get some serious, serious talk. But the first thing we do, though, at the 30-minute mark, early, that's all right, it was early. I was close, Melissa, and that was like from 30 minutes ago. I remembered I was so close. But everybody get a drink of water. So I have diet green tea today because I'm about watered out. So I've already had water up to like right here today. So I switched to diet green tea. But at the 30-minute mark, y'all need a break too. So at the 30-minute mark, we're gonna take a break. And Trish, I'm gonna have to go back and read that. And I am still gonna put my apron on inside out. I am still gonna put my apron on, even though we are not actually making anything tonight. But that is so that Casey will readily know where to plug in the second half, and so that if you are watching this later on YouTube, you will know which one to watch if you just want to watch the second half. So, okay, so what we're going to be talking about tonight in the second half, it's not fun. We're going to talk about sodium again. It's been a long time since we have talked about sodium. We have we've got a couple of friends that are really, really struggling with some sodium issues. And I don't even have to put my hair up tonight because we're not making any food. We have some friends who are having major issues with sodium. So, as most of you know, if you've been around for any length of time, by the way, this is the second half of chat number 231. Let me see. Chat number 231. Make time for things that make you happy. And Candy needs help finding the YouTube. The channel name on YouTube is If You Have an Egg. And Candy, you're just going to have to go to our website. It's just IfYouHaveAnEgg.com and read the story about where the name came from, because you're going to start noticing an egg theme. Everything is named If You Have an Egg. But anyway, this is chat number 231 and is titled Make Time for Things That Make You Happy. This is the second half. And in the second half tonight, we are talking about sodium. So, again, we have some friends that are having major issues, and thank you, Melissa, Mel, having friends that are having some significant issues with sodium. If you've been around for any length of time, you know that both of my parents have passed away now. I say now like it was recent, but it feels like it was recent. But both of them had very different health issues. It's a long story. Anyway, very different health issues, but their health issues were exacerbated, and I want a sticker for using a big word tonight without stopping to think about it. But all of their health issues were exacerbated by excess sodium. I'm a wee 54. I'm a wee 54, but I have noticed in my late 40s, early 50s that I was starting to have some, I don't want to call them significant issues with sodium, but things that I wasn't happy about. Like I wasn't super happy about the results I was seeing when I would consume, too much sodium. So I started really, really paying attention to it. And there are many chats. We have done many chats on sodium. This one's going to be a little bit different. You can go back and find those on YouTube. You can go back and find them on Facebook. There's been quite a few of them. This one, though, we're going to talk about 4 hidden sodium traps, because the two people, And Barbara will be 54 this Friday. Happy birthday, Barbara. I'll sing to you. It's not pretty. I'm kidding. I'm not going to sing to you. But these are 4 hidden sodium traps. And the reason that we're talking about these specifically tonight, I think some of you all could use this too. And Casey and I are really, really, we are torn about one of these people, about how far, like where are we overstepping our boundaries when we're talking to this person, coaching this person about sodium. So the 2 people, one of them has a significant amount of weight to lose from just some other medical conditions, and his other medical conditions, trust me, are very, like, they're all intermingled. He's really struggling to get one medical condition taken care of for another medical condition, another, it's like they're all just like piling on top of each other, and he desperately wants to get control of them. Hello, Evie. He desperately wants to get control of them, but they're literally just dogpiling on top of each other, and he can't get them under control. So one of the things that his doctor has asked him to do is he needs to lose some weight to have his hip worked on. One of the ways that the doctor suggested losing weight was cutting out some sodium. So this is for you, buddy. Also, we have a friend here at work that she has had a couple of, I'm just going to call them episodes here at work, where her blood pressure shot up so high that she was physically ill. Now, it was a temporary situation. She got it back down, pretty quickly, but she's not on any medication yet, and we're hoping to keep her off of medication by just kind of helping to coach her, kind of guide her, through this. So this is for them, and it's for you too, because I know some of you have, have some issues with this. We all probably need to consume less sodium. Okay, no cheating. Nobody look it up. Does anybody know what the recommended daily sodium intake is in milligrams for an average human? So we're not talking the daily for a 6'9" man that weighs 400 pounds, and we're not talking the daily average for a 4'9" woman that weighs 98 pounds soaking wet. That's not what we're talking about, the average. So without cheating, does anybody know what the recommended maximum daily intake is? Candy found the YouTube. Candy. So Candy, you already found the YouTube. So have you already watched like 200 of them? I'm just kidding. And you can listen to them too. You don't actually have to watch them. Okay. Several of you are guessing, and you all are everywhere from 450 to 2,300 so far. Mel says 1,800 now. Candy says 1,400, and Dixie says, I don't know. Yeah, that's A-okay. And Barbara says 1,100. Okay. So it is technically still 2,300 milligrams. So it's technically still 2,300. If you need to be on a restricted, okay, it's okay. It's okay. That would take forever. But it's technically still 2,300. If you are on a reduced sodium diet, so like if your doctor has already put you on a reduced sodium diet, then you're going to be closer to that 1,200 to 1,400 range. Okay, so you're going to be in that 1,200 to 1,400 range if your doctor has put you on a reduced one. So, and Debbie says she didn't cheat; she just knew because she looked it up before. Okay, so 2,300. Okay, does anybody know off the top of their head what 1 teaspoon, so this is sea salt, does anybody know what 1 teaspoon of salt, and a teaspoon's not very big, but a teaspoon is kind of a lot of salt, but does anybody know how many milligrams of sodium a teaspoon of salt has in it? Any guesses? A teaspoon of salt. And yeah, Candy says 2,300, that is high for salt. Yeah, that's the maximum. Remember, they're not saying get 2,300. They're saying that's the maximum. That's the maximum that you should have, every day. So a teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of salt has 2,325 milligrams of sodium. So if you have 1 teaspoon of salt, somehow you just had your maximum. So if you were an average person, you just had your maximum in 1 teaspoon of salt. Okay, is that not crazy? So 1 teaspoon. So a teaspoon sounds like a lot, but a teaspoon's also not a lot if you're shaking it on. Okay, wait, it's confession time. Okay, it is confession time now. Who puts salt on watermelon or cucumbers? Raise your hand. I don't, so I'm not raising my hand. I never have. I have not been a watermelon or cucumber salter, but raise your hand. Raise your hand. If you put salt, if you add salt to watermelon or cucumbers. So I know lots of people who do. Lots of people who do that. Yeah, and so I bought an English cucumber today, and bless his heart, the boy up at the boy at the checkout across the street at Food City, he goes, is that like a regular cucumber? And I wanted to go, does that look like a regular cucumber to you? Now, I wasn't expecting him to know that it was an English cucumber, but I wanted to go, does that really look like a regular cucumber to you? Really? Okay, so I know people, and I know you people, and you might be that people, who add salt to things before you've even tried them. Okay, so Betty Ann has no salt in her house. Okay. And Debbie says that watermelon is all she salts. I'm not judging anybody. Yeah, Debbie. I mean, I know people that do that. But I know people who salt their food. So they salt what they're getting ready to eat without even tasting it. So I want to remind everyone, 1 teaspoon. I don't know how many shakes that is. I should have tested to see how many shakes that is. But yeah, and Rita, tahine. Is it tahine? Am I saying that correctly? That's really good on watermelon too. But 1 teaspoon is 2,325 milligrams of sodium. That's your maximum. So they're not saying, so when they say 2,300, they're not saying do it. They're not saying consume 2,300. They're saying that's your maximum. That's your top. 1 teaspoon. Okay. So just think about that before you put it, before you start adding it to things next time. Okay. So the 4 things that I want to talk about, the 4 hidden sodium traps are, the first thing is sneaky seasoning. So if you take regular table salt or sea salt, or this is pink Himalayan sea salt, if you take something like that and add it to your food, you're putting salt on your food, okay? So if you take salt, add it to your food, you just added it. Okay, so a couple of sneaky seasonings though, things that I don't know if you've thought about it or not, is things like soy sauce. And I'm going to show you I'm going to give you a disappointing shocker here in just a second, but things like soy sauce. So I don't own soy sauce. I don't eat soy sauce. We get these, I don't know, sometimes when we get, carry out or whatever, we get little packs of soy sauce. But a teaspoon of soy sauce, so 1 teaspoon, that's not very much. So I know people, when you open the soy sauce, you're going dump, 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 dump. A teaspoon of soy sauce has 290 milligrams of sodium in it. 1 teaspoon. This is more than a teaspoon. This is probably 2 teaspoons in this little tiny packet. So I watch people all the time open 2, 3, 4, of these and put it on their whatever. It doesn't just have to be Chinese food. Okay, Vicky, let me tell you something. So Vicky, I'm talking to you and I'm talking to me. If you're watching your sodium, now that doesn't mean that you can't have soy sauce, okay? That absolutely does not mean that you can't have soy sauce. Just keep in mind, if you have 10 packs of soy sauce, actually 9 packs of soy sauce, less than 9 packs of soy, because I feel like this is more than a teaspoon, then you just hit your maximum, okay? So just keep that in mind. So I'm not saying that you can't have it. Okay, I also use Bragg liquid aminos. I love Bragg liquid aminos. This is what I put in my green beans. I put it in lots of things to season it. I use this on, like if we're making steak and I want to use Worcestershire sauce or something, it tastes great on that. But here's the bad news. As much as I love Bragg liquid aminos, 1 teaspoon of Bragg liquid aminos is 350 milligrams of sodium. So a teaspoon of Bragg, I'm still going to keep using this, but I just have to keep that in mind. That is, a teaspoon of Bragg is 15% of my daily intake of sodium. So I'm still not going to use soy sauce just because I prefer the Bragg. But just keep in mind, that's a sneaky seasoning. So keep that in mind, that the Bragg liquid aminos is 350 for a teaspoon, and the soy sauce is 290. Okay, so that one was a sneaky seasoning, and it made me very upset because I didn't want the Bragg liquid aminos to be more. I wanted it to be less. Okay. This one is not so sneaky. It shouldn't be a surprise. And Candy says she's never heard of that. She uses Bragg apple cider vinegar. So the liquid amino, so Candy, quick story, my mom was vegan. She introduced me to a whole bunch of things that I had never heard of. So that is one of them. So it has other benefits besides just, the sodium. So another sneaky one, I know a lot of you all like the Trader Joe's, everything. Okay. Yeah. So Joni just almost beat me to this. So, a lot of you all like the everything with the bagel sesame seasoning blend, and it is delicious. But this one, so the everything with the bagel, this is 320 milligrams of sodium for 1 teaspoon. So I don't know about you, but if I'm making something that's going to taste like a bagel, or it's going to be like it's on a bagel, or if it's like on a bagel thin, and I'm adding some cream cheese, and doing this is 320 milligrams of sodium in 1 teaspoon. Okay, and I forget who said it just a second ago. Oh no, it was Mel. But Dax spices. A lot of you all have mentioned Mrs. Dash. That is low or no sodium. But the Dax spices, and yep, there's Mel talking about it again. The Dax spices version, I'm serious. I don't know why. I can't explain why, but it tastes just. Mel, am I wrong? Am I wrong in this? It tastes just like the Trader Joe's everything with the bagel, but it's 0 milligrams of sodium. So that's another sneaky seasoning. I don't know why this one tastes just like this one, but 0. 320. Yeah. So I will keep using the Dax. So if you haven't heard of Dax seasonings, she also had, Karen from Dax also had parents with some significant health issues. They have also passed away. But sodium was one of the things that was really, really an issue with them. So Karen and Drew developed Dax Spice. It's Drew and Karen. That's what Dax stands for. If you want to try them, they usually have some pretty good deals going on Instagram, or we keep them here at Casey Kitchen Center. So if you're in Knoxville and want to try one of them, and you can see we use the everything but the salt a lot because we're almost out of yet another container of it. But yeah, no sodium. So that's a great one. So 0. Okay. The next thing is any prepackaged food. So if you have, sandwich meat or like stick cheese or frozen meals, or things like that, they are wildly full of sodium. They are in, prepackaged food like hot dogs, like, again, sandwich meat. So things that might be lower in points, but all of those things are prepackaged. Lean cuisine meals, Weight Watchers meals, all of that stuff is so full of sodium. I mean, chocked full. I'm talking a third. Most of them are like a third of your daily intake of sodium. So anything like that. Here's a perfect example. So this Campbell's chicken noodle soup, this is like 4 points for the whole little thing. It's a little tiny, like you can heat it up and you can take it with you and drink it. Now, I still consume these, but when I have to watch my sodium and I'm watching my, when I need to watch my sodium, this has 960 milligrams of sodium. That's 42% of your daily intake of sodium in this little thing of chicken and stars soup. That's half. It's almost half your daily intake of sodium. So now for the whole rest of the day, you've got to eat watermelon with no salt and some other things like that. So that is, prepackaged food is crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Okay, then we have things like lurkers. So lurkers are things where I consider them things, and this is one of the things that our friend here at, and Dixie, I love that Lordy Louise. That's so cute. I'm going to use that this week. Things here at work that I'm trying to encourage the person at work to look at the back of things, to look at labels. And somebody, and I'm sorry I didn't see who it was, but somebody just a few minutes ago said, look at the labels, read labels, read the labels. So, this is one of the things that we are encouraging her to do, is to look at the labels. And also my friend who's waiting to have the surgery, his wife is trying really hard to help him, and he wanted spaghetti, couldn't get off of it, wanted some spaghetti. Well, she could not find spaghetti sauce. It's prepackaged. It's full of sodium. So we found a low sodium spaghetti sauce at Trader Joe's that was on, that could fit into his plan. So he just had to control that situation. So he had to channel his Snowman and do that. But these are the things that we're asking her to watch out for. Things like if it says, like it's a drink, and if it says electrolytes on it, that is a good indicator it has some sodium in it. So even though, she might be, need some hydration, and she might need something to drink, she's got to pay such close attention to this. I'm telling you, the episode she had a couple of weeks ago, I don't ever want to see that again, okay? And she probably could have maybe gone to the hospital, but didn't. Yeah, it was bad. And it was just from eating way too much sodium the night before. And since it had not processed through her body, since she ate it and then went to bed and didn't have any water on top of it, it was bad. It was really bad. But if it says electrolytes, that's going to be a pretty good, indicator that it's going to have sodium in it. So this bottle has 160. There's 2 servings in this bottle. So if you're like me, you're going to drink this whole thing. I'm not going to divide this in half. This is 1 serving for me. So this is actually a 2-serving bottle, and each serving has 160 milligrams of sodium, or 7%. So if she drinks, or if I drink this 1 bottle of Propel, then it's going to be 14% of our daily intake. So that's a lurker. That's a place where you don't think about things, lurking. Gatorade's going to be the same way. Any of these sports drinks are going to be the exact same way. If it's supposed to add electrolytes to your body, the sodium is part of that. So the sodium in this one is 160 milligrams per serving. So, same kind of deal as that. We talk about Premier Protein all the time. This one's another lurker. It's something that you just don't think about. So we put this, we talk about this all the time. I have posted multiple recipes, excuse me, on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com using this. But guess what? I only ever take into consideration the points value. I don't ever think about the sodium. But this has 230 milligrams of sodium per shake. Excuse me. So this has 230 milligrams of sodium per shake. That is 10% of your daily value. Sorry, I may have to go get some extra water in just a second. I promise I'll be right back. I promise. I'm going to make a little noise and then I'll be right back. Okay, so thank you for my little break to get some more water. So that is one of the lurkers. Cereal, believe it or not, has sodium in it. Never really considered it, but this container, this is what I give Alyssa every single Monday when we go to walk with Karen. And it has 180 milligrams, or 8% of your daily recommended limit for an adult human. She's not an adult human. She's a 3-year-old human. So I don't know how much sodium this is, but I won't be giving her any fries or popcorn with sodium on them tomorrow. Okay. So those are lurkers. Oh, even milk. Milk has sodium in it. So those are the lurkers. Okay. And then the next thing is I want you to test for traps. So if you are looking around and you're thinking, okay, so the things that are highest in sodium, so if you had to name 3 of the top 10 things that have too much sodium, like they're too high in sodium or very high in sodium, what would you say 3 of the top 10 things would be? So I'll give you all just a second since we only have 5 minutes left. But what do you think 3 of those things would be? 3 of the top 10 things. Pickles. Okay, that would be a good guess. Olives. I think Carol said olives a few minutes ago. Cheese. Yeah, dairy things do tend to have a little bit more, sodium in them. Melissa, pre-made broths and stocks. That is, she's actually correct. Soup. Janet, soup is on that list. Okay, Marlene said chips. So chips is one of the things that I would have thought. And Cynthia also said chips. Debbie says tomato juice. Fruit juices are on that list. Fruit and vegetable juices are on that list. And Candy, yes, so Candy needs to know where to order the Dax spices. If you go to IfYouHaveAnEgg.com and go to shopping, and then somewhere under shopping there's food or something like that. Celery. Jean will have to look up how much sodium celery has in it. I do not know. Okay, so chips. Roberta says hot dogs. Okay, so processed meat, like hot dogs, sandwich meat. Carol is exactly right. So processed meat like hot dogs, sandwich meat, things like that. Top. That's in the very, very top. Things that are high in sodium. Some vegetable juices like V8 juice. John says a salt lick. Yes, John, a salt lick is going to be high in sodium. Yes, it will be. But that's going to be, high on that list. So when I think of things that are high in sodium, or when I first started thinking about it, I don't know, it still pops in my head. Like today when I thought, oh, we're going to do, for the second half, we're going to do a chat we're going to talk about sodium. We're talking about four hidden sodium traps. My mind always goes straight to things like popcorn, potato chips, things like that. That always is at the top of my list. So this is what I wanted to talk about. The last thing, test for traps. So the last thing I want to talk about is testing for these traps. So don't just assume that it's bad, and don't just assume that it's good. The girl that I'm talking about here at work, she had what would have been an otherwise good decision choice on her lunch the other day. It's been a couple of weeks ago now, because she chose something that was grilled instead of something that was fried. She chose a vegetable with it, and then she chose a side to go with that. And when we looked up the sodium content in it, it was over 3,500 milligrams of sodium just for that meal. So what started out as good choices seemed good, but she didn't test it. So she didn't test it for some sodium traps, and sodium is high on her list of things that she's supposed to be watching for. Things like rotisserie chicken, they have hidden things. So when you test for those traps, just keep in mind, look at the labels. So several of you have said, always look at the labels. Several of you have said, like Mel's saying it right now, restaurant foods are almost always high in sodium. She's exactly right. And processed things. So just keep that in mind. Those are the 3, top things that you need to keep in mind. So one of the traps is that people think, I'm going to choose to, let's just say, I'm going to sprinkle a teaspoon. And again, I'm not picking on the watermelon people, but I'm going to sprinkle a half a teaspoon of salt on my watermelon. A half a teaspoon is tiny, but a half of a teaspoon would be, what would that be? 1,150, is that right? 1,150, yeah. And Mel says, can you tell I've had to watch my sodium levels? LOL, yeah. So that would be like 1,100 milligrams of sodium. Okay, this is a little stacks of potato chips, and it even says salted. It even says salted right there. So what I'm getting ready to say is not to say, what potato chips you want, but it even says salted right there. So this is a trap. She would have put this down. She would have definitely put this down and picked something else up, like watermelon and put salt on it, like cucumbers and put salt on them, for 1,100 and however many, 1,150 or however many milligrams of sodium it was. This container of chips that even says the word salted on it It is only 150 milligrams. So this is 7%. This is only 7% of your daily, the daily recommended maximum value, 7%. Didn't we have something else here that was 7%? So we had this. Half of this bottle of Propel was, turn it the wrong way. So half of this bottle of sports drink was 7%. The Cheerios, I believe, were 8%. So this is 8%. Okay, so does that make sense? So watch out for those traps. So test those traps. Can of potato chips would have been off of my, and again, I'm not saying to run out and eat some potato chips, but this little can of potato chips that even says salted is the same or less amount of sodium as a sports drink or a little thing of Cheerios. Okay, so no assumptions. Nothing is written in salt. That didn't even make any sense. Okay, so test those traps. Check your labels. Don't assume anything. If you can't get the nutritional value on something, if you're having significant issues with sodium, and I'm talking significant issues, I'm not talking your fingers get puffy when it's hot outside. I'm talking, significant issues, or if you want to prevent yourself from having, significant issues, then just start to test these things. And I will tell you, at 54 years old, I'm much more cognizant of this than I was at 44 or 34 or 24. It makes a big difference. So just watch out for those traps. Check everything. I have several things that I want to make for next week, and my mind is racing, to decide which of them that I want to make. But I'm so super pumped that we are going back to our in-person meetings. That I don't know why it's making such a difference, but my mind is racing with what I want to go ahead and get and make for the next week. Like, I'm even thinking about going to a farmer's market. But okay, so you all have a great evening. I really appreciate you being here. I really appreciate y'all always taking your Sunday nights out to spend them with me. Y'all have a great evening. And if you are trying to figure out where to watch this later, you can always watch it on YouTube. It's just youtube.com, search If You Have an Egg. This will be posted later in the week on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. Normally, Casey posts on YouTube the next day. I think she'll still be able to pull that off this week. Jessica, who does everything on our website, is on vacation this week. I didn't give her permission to go. Not sure why she's gone. Just kidding. She deserves it. This is a well-deserved vacation. Not sure she's going to get the chat posted before she gets back from vacation. Just know it will be posted. But if you were watching this on YouTube, again, just youtube.com, search If You Have an Egg. Please go ahead and let that next video roll over. And just like Candy, who is more than 50 badges and 230 chats behind. I'm just kidding, Candy. I'm kidding. You're brand new. I have to, tease you a little bit. But just like Candy, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. She did that tonight. So she already hit the subscribe button. And then go ahead and click the little bell so that you'll be notified when we do post new videos. And if you need any super cool merch, you can always click this little button over here. It's for our spread shirt store. But y'all have a great evening. And Dusty is like snoring, so I'm not going to bother him, but Candy, you'll just have to come back next week and meet Dusty. But y'all have a great evening. I've enjoyed it once again, and I will see you next week. Bye.